fear of judgment. This seems to be a big problem for so many people these days. We all fear that we're being judged, and sometimes our biggest holdback is the fact that we're judging ourselves. Even if you are going to tell me, I don't care what anybody thinks of me, I don't care about this or that. You may tell yourself that, but chances are there's somebody in your life that you care what they think. You care what their opinion is of you. Even if you're not a people pleaser, you care about somebody's opinion. And maybe it is just yours. But the fact is, in today's world, we're being judged all the time. We fear that somebody maybe thinks we're too harsh, too nice, too judgmental, too laid back. We always have a fear about something. Do you leave somewhere and start thinking, oh, I bet they thought this about us. I wonder what they thought about this. Right there, you are thinking about who is judging you, what they're judging you for. Maybe you come off of an interview and you can't stop analyzing it until the day that they call you back, which could be a couple weeks, let's be honest. But everybody has a fear of judgment, to some degree at least. Now, this fear may be totally made up in your head. Most of our fears are made up in your head. Most of our fears are us making something up about what somebody thinks, how we think somebody feels. Most things that we post, some people are afraid to post things on the internet because of what somebody will think. If this person sees this, what do they think? You might ask yourself, what does it matter what they think? Is it going to change how I feel? Is it going to change what I want to say? Absolutely not, or maybe it would. But you have to decide. Fear of judgment. Are you going to let this judgment stop you from doing something? Are you going to let it stop you from going forward with something or going forward with a relationship? Maybe it's making you want to end the relationship, whether it be a significant other, a friend, a colleague, whatever the case may be. But judgment comes from everywhere. It comes from people that we don't know, that we'll never know. It comes from people that we care a lot about. And most of the time, that's the judgment that really holds us back. We think that the people that we care about the most are judging us. And their opinion matters a lot. And that's not a bad thing. Everybody's going to be judged whether you like it or not. But you have to decide how much you care about what they're judging you about. Are they judging you on something that's going to matter? Are they judging you on your opinion? Are they judging you on something that you're doing? Are they judging you on something that you said? Does any of those things matter in the long run? Will it change your opinion or what you want to say or how you want to say it? Any of those things. Judgment will come from somewhere, always. People will always have their opinions. People will always have judgments. But those judgments, unless you let them affect you, it's your choice whether they affect you or not. If you let them, they will, whether they really matter or not. Most of the time, I think people get so worked up and overwhelmed based on what somebody else thinks. If they're making a judgment on you and you let it affect you, it might get you all worked up for nothing, even though it really didn't matter what they said. A lot of times, it's not going to stop us from doing what we're going to do anyway. So why let it affect you? The worst of it, as I said earlier, comes from us judging ourselves. That second-guessing nature. If you're like me, you second-guess a lot of things. I've gotten a lot better, and it's taken a lot of practice to get there. But do you judge yourself on what you wear? Do you say something and then all of a sudden you're second-guessing what you said? You're overthinking it. You're judging yourself on something that you said, even though you already said it. Does it matter? Or did it just pass by someone's ear? If you're going to judge yourself, make sure that it's worth it. Make sure that you're not being too harsh. And if you're going to judge yourself, work past it. And by that, I mean, if you're going to judge yourself, make sure that it's worth the mental thought of actually doing it and not something that somebody else put in your head that really doesn't matter anyway. Judging can do a lot to your mindset. It can do a lot to your mentality, and it can do a lot for your self-talk. Now, those terms may not be something you want to hear, but it's something that everybody does, whether we like it or not. Those little voices in your head telling you, that was stupid, why did I do that? Or anything like that. Man, what is she wearing? Did you see the way those two were? Anything like that. You judge everything, and we judge ourselves most harshly enough. I didn't make this good enough. I don't read fast enough. I can't pay attention to this good enough. If you tell yourself and make those judgments on yourself, they will probably come true because you're telling yourself a story that you're going to make come true. Kind of like if you ever hear somebody say, if you tell yourself that you can't, you can't. If you tell somebody that you absolutely will, you'll find a way to make it happen. Judgments will always come. So don't fear judgment. Don't fear what somebody else is thinking of you, because chances are it really doesn't matter. They're going to have their own opinion anyway. Judgments will come no matter what. But work on judgment of yourself, because judgment of yourself is usually extremely harsh, extremely critical, and it's the things that you tell yourself and the fact that you're going to get in your head anyway. So try to cut those out as much as you can. Catch yourself as early as you can making those judgments.